All right, welcome to the lab for networking, and we're going to call it Network Mess. Now, if you remember from our first chapter, we talked about this concept of choose your own adventure. If you want to push yourself, then you're going to go the expert path because I'm going to give you the least amount of instruction and hints that way. And if you're not quite there yet, I'll give you a few hints and you can go the intermediate route. And if you're just following along, you can go straight to Newbieville and just watch how I did it without trying anything. And I wouldn't really recommend this, but to each his own. So here's the scenario. As with most IT departments, your department is shorthanded, and especially when it comes to skilled AWS engineers and architects. Your manager hired a contractor, and his name is Sven Lefors, to do some work. In the interview, he seemed a little strange and offbeat, but people are quirky sometimes, and the best engineers are some of the quirkiest people I've met, so we're going to give him a chance. Turns out Lefors really didn't know what he was doing, and now we have to fix the mess that he created. So this is how we're going to do this. I want you to select a region that you don't normally use, and this is just because you're less likely to have a bunch of other resources in that region that may confuse things. So pick a faraway region. It's optional, but definitely recommended. And then you're going to execute a CloudFormation script, and this is going to build our website landscape, and hopefully it works perfectly. This is the pre-Lefors version of the landscape. And I want you to test out the website it works. Make sure that you can get to this website. Make sure there's nothing else that's preventing you from getting to this website, and you can see it works. Then we're going to execute a CloudFormation script that's going to represent the mayhem that Lefors creates. In other words, the post-Lefors era. And you're going to have to figure out what Lefors did and fix it to be able to get your website back up and operational. Now, the CloudFormation scripts are on our GitHub for this particular course. I'm going to link them in the resources of this lab. And what you're going to be looking for is there's two files out there. There's a step 1 file, which is our creates the landscape, and then a step 2 file, which is our Lefors disaster. So you're going to execute the step 1, then I want you to go out there and test it. In the outputs, you're going to get a fully qualified domain name, and that's the domain name of the instance that it spun up to host this website. And you're going to put that in the browser, and you should get a web page that says, "Keep being awesome, Cloud Gurus." Then I want you to run the CloudFormation template that is for the Lefors disaster. And when that finishes, you're going to get the same fully qualified domain name, but you're going to see that Lefors was there, unfortunately. And you're going to try that website again, and it's going to be no worky for that website. Now, if you're getting off at the expert level, stop. Here's some rules. Do not use a change set. Do not look at the scripts. And do not look at the preview when you're updating, because those can all give you hints as to what changed. For maximum expert badassery, I want you to go in there just as blind as you would if this happened in a real situation. So go off and try it, and then come back and you can watch the rest of the video and see a method that I use to resolve this situation. Okay, if you're sticking around for the intermediate level, I'm going to give you some hints here. So the first hint is I only touched the networking components. I didn't log into the EC2 instance and shut down the process. Number 2, create a change set when you're implementing this CloudFormation template. And that's exactly the purpose of a change set, is it gives you an idea of what impact it's going to have to a landscape before it actually executes it. So that'll give you some hints about what changed. And 3, remember the fill in the blank here, guys. So if you're intermediate level, stop the video right now and go give it a try. When you're done, come back, resume the video, and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, let's go through a walkthrough of how I step through the problems and resolve them. Okay, we're going to start from our AWS console, and then we're going to go under CloudFormation. We're going to create new stack, and then we're going to select the template for the setup. We're going to give it a name here. And I've also entered a few different instance types that should be available in all regions. You can pick which one. And we're just going to hit next, and eventually it's going to start building our resources. I'm going to pause right here and then restart when the resources have been built. Okay, the create is complete. If we go over to the outputs, we can see our fully qualified domain name of the instance that was created. I'm going to copy that and pull that up into a browser. And you can see our website works. In fact, we can see the instance. If we go out to EC2, we'll see a running instance, and it's just a normal running instance. If we go to VPCs, we can see that we've created a VPC. I'm going to filter by just that VPC. And you can see we've created a subnet, just a single subnet. This is a very simple network. We have an internet gateway, no egress. DHCP options are the same. We have one elastic IP that we're using. Now we can go back to CloudFormation and implement the LaForce disaster. I'm going to just update the stack. I'm going to choose the template that will create the havoc. And next. And your landscape will update. Now, it won't happen as fast as this because I sped it up. Probably within about maybe 3 or 4 minutes, you're going to get an output here. You can see LaForce was there. We try our fully qualified domain name, no worky. It's going to time out. It just keeps spinning. So now we got to figure out what the problem is. Well, the most obvious thing is our EC2 instance up and running? Yep, it's still up and running. Now, what I like to do is step inward. So I'll start with the furthest out resources and then step back into where the problem is. So we'll first look at our VPC. I'm going to filter by that VPC. And check out the subnets. Subnet's still there. They seem to look okay. The route tables. We did have 2 route tables before. If I look at this route table here, one thing that steps out at me is there's really no default route. It goes to 10.1.0.0. I need to change that. That should be a default route for everything going out to the internet gateway, or else the instances in that VPC can't reach the internet. Internet gateway looks okay. There's really not much you can do with that. DHCP options look okay. The elastic IP is still there. There's not much you can configure there. Now I can go down to my network ACLs. Okay, I see one ACL there that doesn't have any subnets associated with it. The inbound and outbound look okay. They're just basically allowing everything in and out, but there's no subnet associated to it. So if I go to my other network ACL, oh, UDP port 80, that doesn't seem right at all. Plus there's a rule 100 that denies everything. And here in the outbound rules, we're outbound port 80, but I'm missing the ephemerals. Now I can fix this pretty easily just by reassigning that subnet back to my default NACL. And I can delete this other one. Now I could have also edited that new NACL, but in this case, I'll just reassign. Now if I have a look at my security groups, let's take a look at the inbound rules. TCP port 80. Again, the source is 10.0.0. That's not going to let me access that from the internet. So I'm going to need to change that. I'm going to change that to allow anywhere to access this over port 80. Now let's go try our website. Voila, it works again, thank goodness. We've undid the mess that LaFour has created for us. Now we can tear everything down. That's pretty easy with CloudFormation. We can go out to the CloudFormation console, click it, do delete stack. And it's going to get rid of everything we created, almost like we were never here.